negotiating with Vladimir Putin. Is he a war criminal?
Well, I think you can look at instances that have happened there and certainly characterize them as war crimes, but our intent is to end the war.
Is he a war criminal?
We can't end the war without talking to
No,
Mr. Putin.
that's pretty simple. Is he a war criminal?
Well, that's
this man we're negotiating with, Vladimir Putin. Is he a war criminal? That's not tough.
But what? I'm trying to answer your question by telling you that we're trying to end the war here.
Go ahead.
No, it's not a simple answer.
You are equivocating, sir. Just answer the question.
I'm answering your question, and the answer is that war crimes have been committed, no doubt. And who's responsible for that? There will be time and place for that accountability. But right now,
In 2017, then Senator Marco Rubio told Rex Tillerson he was deeply discouraged that Tillerson wouldn't call Vladimir Putin a war criminal. This year, as Secretary of State, Rubio himself was asked the exact same question and refused to answer it. Both of those positions cannot come from the same man in good faith. Representative Keating didn't just catch the contradiction, he got Rubio on the record to admit Russia is the aggressor in Ukraine, directly undercutting Trump's public claim that Ukraine started the war. Then he confronted Rubio with the same standard Rubio once demanded of Tillerson over a regime that has abducted an estimated 20,000 Ukrainian children. Rubio never gave a straight answer, not once, across multiple direct attempts. I'm Caleb Morgan. If you are new here, hit that subscribe button because we do not flinch and we do not let that slide. Let's get into it.
Representative Keating.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I will miss my seatmate, Jerry Conley. He loved sitting here, and we loved him. Secretary, in 1944, my uncle, James Arthur Keating, was serving in France, and as soldiers, his fellow soldiers were dying around him, he wrote a letter back in combat, back home, about the cost of human sacrifice and whether it was worthwhile to defend a piece of mud on the earth. Only a week after that letter, he answered that question while carrying lead in himself, as one of the people in his command was exposed and injured. He was wounded himself carrying lead and crawled out there, brought him back to safety, saved his life, and as he was going for another person, was machine gunned to death himself and killed in action. 400,000 other American families gave the same sacrifice, but the peace and prosperity that came forward the world has never seen. It's a transatlantic alliance where our allies sacrificed their young men and women when America was attacked in 9/11, and economically, they're a $1.6 trillion trading partner with us with 16 million jobs on both sides of the continent. So my questions today are looking for clarity on where we stand with our allies and partners for more than 80 years, because they're expressing their doubts. They're expressing their doubts publicly. They've expressed it to me privately. So as the face of our country, as the lead foreign policy representative in the United States, I'm just looking for this clarity. So first, simply answer this question, if you will. Is Russia the aggressor in this Ukraine war?
Yeah, Russia invaded Ukraine.
So they are the aggressor in this war, correct?
They invaded them, yes.
Well, thank you, sir, because it's important to get this clarity, because President Donald Trump said it was Ukraine that started this war, and our allies have the right to know this. Secondly, the person we're negotiating with, Vladimir Putin, is he a war criminal?
Well, I think you can look at instances that have happened there and certainly characterize them as war crimes, but our intent is to end the war.
Is he a war criminal?
We can't end the war without talking to Mr. Putin.
That's pretty simple. Is he a war criminal?
Well, that's
this man we're negotiating with, Vladimir Putin. Is he a war criminal? That's not tough.
But what? I'm trying to answer your question by telling you that we're trying to end the war here.
Go ahead.
No, it's not a simple answer.
You are equivocating, sir. Just answer the question.
I'm answering your question, and the answer is that war crimes have been committed, no doubt. And who's responsible for that? There will be time and place for that accountability. But right now, the job is to end the war.
So you won't answer the question.
If we don't end the war, people are going to get
reclaiming
killed.
my time, sir. Let me go on. Because I don't understand this. Because you're sitting in front of us now as Secretary of State. It wasn't long ago that you were sitting as a senator with Secretary of State nominee Rex Tillerson at the time, in the exact same circumstances, only reversed. and you question him about Putin directing attacks against schools, markets, hospitals, playgrounds. And on top of this, in this instance, he's abducted 20,000 children, a clear war crime. So you were very clear then Vladimir Putin was a war criminal. Now you're unmaking him a war criminal, and you won't answer the question about the exact same circumstances.
You're putting words in my mouth.
I'm reclaiming my time, sir.
You're putting words in my mouth.
And you know what you said to Secretary
That's not what I
Tillerson
said.
at the end of his answer when he equivocated just as you are right now?
I've not equivocated.
You said,
You just don't let me
it sure
answer.
sounds like it to me. Then I'll give you a second chance. Is Vladimir
never gave me a
Putin
first
a war
chance.
criminal?
I already told you war crimes have been committed.
No, you didn't tell me if
Well,
he's
I
a
can't
war
even-
criminal.
Mr. Chairman, am I allowed to answer questions?
I'm
or just
reclaiming
be
my
hectored?
time, sir, and listen,
Well,
I'm
if he
using
keeps
your own
reclaiming
words so you don't have to answer. Did you know what you said to then nominee Secretary of State Tillerson? You said you were very discouraged in his inability to accept that Putin was indeed a war criminal. Your words, we don't need any more. You're inconsistent. The third question I have, sir, is this.
I answered your question. You just don't let
You
me
did
answer.
not answer the question about Putin's
Well, you
war
keep
criminal
reclaiming your
conduct
time.
in Ukraine.
You ask me a question, then you reclaim your time. So how can I answer
You
the
answered
question?
it. Listen, let me go forward with this. 3 questions. And I'm
Or are
being
you gonna
pretty
reclaim
clear to
time
you.
on those too?
I'm giving you a chance to answer. Give me a chance to ask the question. Here it is. So there's a concern among these allies that we've had, our closest allies, about the one-sidedness of the negotiations with Russia and Ukraine.
Gentlemen's
Regular
time has
order.
expired. Secretary Rubio, if you'd like to respond, by all means.
Can
go
I
ahead.
reclaim my time for a few seconds? Thank you. Number one, crimes have been committed in the war on Ukraine, and there will be accountability for that. But our goal right now is to end that war, because let me tell you, every single day that that war goes on, more people are killed, more people are maimed, and frankly, more war crimes are being committed every day that the war lasts. Number one. Number two, I don't know how European allies could say that. I talk to European allies literally every single day. I see or talk to the foreign minister of the UK and France and Germany more than I see or talk to
Mr.
my own kids in some days.
Chairman,
so these are all
I'm
falsehoods
reclaiming
and
my
it's
time
important.
now.
You have no time.
Because
You're not
you've given him
recognized, Mr.
time,
Keating.
and I ask unanimous
Not
consent.
recognized, Mr. Keating.
Chairman,
You're not recognized.
I'm asking for unanimous consent to put
Mr.
in the
Keating,
record.
you're not recognized. The
I
Secretary
am
is speaking.
asking unanimous consent to put in the record
Mr. Keating, you're not
the
recognized.
op-ed. Oh, so you're not going to recognize, Mr. Chairman?
Not
Point of order.
recognized in this
Anyone
moment.
that asks unanimous consent to put in for the record a document,
Keating,
you're not allowing
you
that?
are not recognized right now. Your time expired. You might have a minute and a few. Mr. Secretary, please continue.
The last point is our goal is to end this war. We have to be able to talk to both
Point of
sides
order,
in order
Mr.
to do it.
Chairman.
In order to be, we have to end this
My
conflict.
time is answered. His time answering my question ended too. It's the next person's time. That's the rules in this committee.
Mr.
When you
Secretary,
won't even
please
let a
continue.
person enter into the record something from our ambassador till recently from Ukraine, Ambassador Brink,
Mr.
who
Keating
resigned
should-
because of the conduct
Keating,
of
you
this
should keep a
administration
better eye of the clock
after
right in front
30
of you.
years of service, sir.
You should keep a better eye of the clock in front of you. Your time expired. Continue.
Our goal is to end this war so more people don't die. And by the way, we want all those kids returned back to their homes that were kidnapped from their parents. We just want people to stop dying. Every day this war goes on, people die, things are destroyed, and lives are ruined. And we want it to stop.
Thank you, Secretary Rubio. Did you have something you want to submit for unanimous consent?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Now would be your opportunity.
Thank you, sir. I want to submit for the record an op-ed by Ambassador Brink from Ukraine, the regional ambassador that was close until recently, 30 years of service of Democrat presidents and
So
Republican
ordered.
ones. It's an op-ed that says
So ordered.
Trump's Ukraine
Representative
policy
Weiss
left
is
me no
recognized.
choice, and she details how
So
peace
ordered.
at any cost is
Take yes
appeasement,
for an
not
answer.
peace.
So
Thank
ordered.
you, sir.
Representative Weiss is recognized.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to
Let's start with the part of this hearing that doesn't get enough attention because it happened before the war criminal question, and it's actually the more damning admission. Keating asked Rubio a simple yes or no. Is Russia the aggressor in this war? And Rubio, under oath in front of Congress, says yes, Russia invaded Ukraine. That should not be a remarkable moment. That should be the baseline, uncontested fact everyone in that room agrees on. Except it is remarkable because the President of the United States has publicly claimed the opposite, that Ukraine started the war. So what you actually have on record here is the sitting Secretary of State directly contradicting his own president's public narrative live in a congressional hearing. That's not a small crack. That's the administration's top diplomat, unable to even stay on message with the man he serves. And then comes the moment everyone's actually talking about. Keating asks if Putin is a war criminal, a man who has bombed hospitals, targeted schools, and is credibly linked to the abduction of roughly 20,000 Ukrainian children. That's not a gray area. That's not a matter of interpretation. And Rubio's answer is to essentially say war crimes have occurred, but our job is to end the war, which, notice, is not an answer. It's a redirect dressed up as one, Keating asks. Again, Rubio redirects again. Keating asks a third time, flat out, no equivocating, and Rubio still won't say the words. Here's what makes this moment impossible to spin as anything other than political cowardice. Rubio has already answered this exact question before, under the exact same circumstances, and he answered it without hesitation. In 2017, as a senator questioning Rex Tillerson for the same job Rubio now holds, Rubio said he was deeply discouraged that Tillerson wouldn't call Putin a war criminal. He didn't hedge. He didn't say we have to focus on diplomacy. He held Tillerson to a clear moral standard, and Keating does something genuinely sharp here. He doesn't just call out the hypocrisy in the abstract. He reads Rubio's own past words back to him in his own voice from his own record. There is no room left for Rubio to claim this is about diplomatic nuance. The nuance wasn't there when he was the one asking the questions. So what changed? Not the facts, not the war crimes, not the children who were taken from their families. What changed is that Rubio now needs to sit across a negotiating table from Putin, and calling a man a war criminal to his face tends to complicate that conversation. That's the real answer, hiding underneath, we can't end the war without talking to Mr. Putin. It's not principle, it's convenience. And when your position on basic moral clarity shifts depending on whether you're asking the question or answering it, that tells you exactly how much the position was ever really about morality in the first place. And notice what happens procedurally. Once Rubio starts losing the exchange, the chair starts running interference. Keating gets cut off mid-question. He's denied unanimous consent to enter a resigning ambassador's op-ed into the record. In real time, on camera, that's not incidental. That's what it looks like when a hearing stops being about accountability and starts being about damage control. Step back and look at what actually happened in that room. A sitting Secretary of State confirmed under questioning that his own president is publicly misrepresenting who started this war. And then, when asked to apply the exact moral standard he once demanded of someone else, he spent his entire answer dodging it 3 separate times, rather than simply telling the truth he'd already told once. Back when it didn't come with political consequences attached. That's not diplomacy. That's what it looks like when someone already knows the right answer and decides the truth is inconvenient right now. So tell me what you think. Was this Rubio playing careful diplomacy to keep negotiations alive, or was this straight-up political cowardice caught live on camera? Drop your take in the comments. If you want more of these hearings broken all the way down, no spin, no letting it slide, hit subscribe. I'm Caleb Morgan, and I'll see you in the next one.